Huge shout out goes out to our current channel members. If you're interested in gaining a channel membership, then feel free to head over to my channel profile and click the join button. Also, we do have a Ninjago Discord server. It's a great way to communicate with myself and many others. For more details on that, click the very first link at the very top of the description of this video. So, there exists a whole ton of different Ninjago minifigures out there, and while I do not own every single minifigure that Ninjago has ever produced by any means or any stretch of the imagination, I'd say that I do still own quite a fair amount of them, if I'm being quite honest. I own, for example, all of the Crystalized sets, and here and there I do own, I have a fair collection, but again, nowhere near the biggest you'll ever see out there. So that is exactly why today I would like to go over and count down the top 10 favourite, best, whatever you want to call it, minifigures that I own personally from my own collection. If I do not own them, then, well, they will just not be on this list. Again, this is a video going over my personal favourite Ninjago minifigures that, again, I own. I have tried to make this list as varied as possible to make this interesting for all of you, and I think that I've managed to pick out some of my, again, best overall. And stay tuned, because some of these may be a little bit weird, and definitely are not your very stereotypical picks that you may see in other videos. With this being said though, if you do enjoy today's video, please do leave a like on it. But with all of this out of the way, well, let's get started with my ranking.
Alrighty then, so kicking off today's list, here we have Kalmar, Prince Kalmar. And he is an interesting minifigure to say the least. His hairpiece is quite seriously one of the most unique ones we have ever seen for any Ninjago, not only villain, but just Ninjago minifigure in general, topped off with that crazy looking tentacle piece that makes up his leg, lower half area of his particular minifigure. This guy is very interesting. Seriously, if there was just one complaint I would have, it's that there is like a purple line that goes through the torso and also the leg piece, and that's just a result of how LEGO prints their minifigures, as you can see it there. It's a little bit disappointing, but it's nothing that really takes away from this minifigure. It's really just like the only complaint I would have if I was forced to pick out a certain complaint. Also, the eyes do look a little bit not show accurate, for lack of a better word there. Lack of a better phrase, I should say. Other than that, though, it is really, really cool. This part up here, whatever you would like to call that, is, again, great looking. The shoulder pads look a little bit awkward because of just how high up they are in comparison to his actual body. But again, it's nothing to really, like, get up in arms about, get angry about by any means. It is a very cool minifigure. But with this being said, he is only cracking the number 10 spot in my top 10 list. So, who's coming next, you ask? Well, let's go ahead and find out right now. Alrighty then, so coming in at the number 9 spot is going to be Hero Cole. This minifigure is awesome, to be honest, and despite me not liking some of the other hero suits all that much, I was basically in love with this particular one, the Cole version, since we first got images in like April 2020, I believe it was. Good times, by the way. But yeah, this minifigure is awesome. The black and gold pair together extremely, extremely nicely. The helmet honestly just looks iconic at this point just because of the amount of promotional material it was in with regards to Master of the Mountain. The actual torso print looks awesome there. It kind of shines in the light as well, as you can kind of see on camera, and the leg print, again, it just makes it even better. Armor piece looks great too, and again, while this particular design, the knight hero design, doesn't look all that great on some other of the ninja minifigures, for example, Jay's and Kai's do look quite iffy, this one, in my opinion, is absolutely perfect, and it's like these hero suits were moulded around Cole in mind, so the others kind of fall flat, but then at the end of the day, you've got this incredible suit for Cole. It's iconic, it looks great, it looks majestic, it just looks important, almost has a sense of royalty as well, which I suppose does make sense considering the events of that season. It is just a great minifigure, and I love it a lot, which is why it is here in my top 10 favourite Ninjago minifigures list. But now, let's move on to number 8. To be honest with you, I'm kind of bad at ranking, so this video is kind of me making it up on the spot, because at the end of the day, all of these minifigures I love a lot, but I've tried to order them as best as I could, and, well, during an offcut for today's video, I had some trouble deciding where to put Aspheera, but I've decided that the number 8 spot is going to be perfect for her. She has a great design. As I said previously with some of the things I said about Hero Cole, she just has this sense of royalty, this majesty kind of vibe about her, which again, I suppose does make a whole lot of sense considering she is kind of exactly that. She is majestic, she is royal, she has that vibe about her, and this minifigure is great. Now you may be wondering why I didn't choose the Crystalized Aspheera to put here instead, but I don't know. Despite that one being cool, this one was just a whole lot better to me. I love the colour scheme, and despite the ghost tail piece basically just being the same one Matakan uses, which hint, he may or may not be on this list, I just still think that it is great. And yeah, I know, to this day, I still wish they would have used the actual tailpiece, the snake tailpiece for Aspheera. Still, this is what we got, and it's okay, I guess. This shoulder piece makes it even better as well. Oh, and that headpiece just looks incredible. Overall, I love the Aspheera minifigure a lot, which is why she is here on this list. A really huge favourite of mine. Okay, so coming up next on our list is going to be Golden Oni Lloyd, an extremely hyped up minifigure right from the get-go, and yeah, despite being extremely, like, criminally underused and just underwhelming within the actual season of Ninjago Crystalized, the minifigure is still really, really cool in my opinion, and is a very nice fresh spin on Lloyd minifigures, especially golden ones. The Oni mask does just look pretty great in my opinion, and yeah, it's just a very fun minifigure to look at overall. The gold and the kind of hints of green throughout look absolutely awesome, and to be honest, gold and green is a colour combination I really never would have imagined would, well, actually go and suit well together, but it actually does. This minifigure is great, and it gets that balance done pretty perfectly. And that mask, again, it just makes things look great. It's really got some great detailing on it. And yeah, it just complements the rest of the suit really well. And it looks really accurate to the actual show counterpart with all of that cool printing on it. One of my funniest things about this minifigure is the fact that that happens. Hey Lloyd, nice to see Echo Zane here. Yeah, this is a minifigure I obtained fairly recently. It was around Christmas 2022, actually, around that kind of time, where I finally picked up one of my dream Ninjago sets of all time. That being the Lighthouse Siege. This minifigure is exclusive to that set, and I am such a proud owner of this thing. Again, maybe a little bit of an obscure choice for today's video. Again, I kind of figured that this would make the video a lot more unique as well, but legitimately, this is one of my favourite minifigures of all time when it comes to Ninjago. The hairpiece is literally Zane's older hairpiece, but coloured in this golden colour scheme, of course. The face looks awesome. And yeah, it just fits perfectly. You've got the Dr. Julian kind of symbol on the back. All of his creations feature that. And you've got all of these different cogs, gears, different like rusty working parts that go throughout the torso. And you've also got kind of like signs of an oil spillage leaking onto the legs there. It's great. It looks like you've kind of got a whole different mashup of parts that were used to lazily construct this guy, and I just love the look of it overall. The face print looks awesome and is, again, one of those minifigures that just looks so damn accurate to the actual show. This minifigure is truly incredible in my opinion. I am a pretty big Watch fan as well, so maybe kind of that also leaks onto this particular minifigure, you know, with like the cogs, the gears, the working parts. It all just matches up perfectly. Overall, Echo Zane is a Ninjago minifigure I absolutely love, and I thought he definitely deserved a spot on this list. Great minifigure. I highly recommend you guys go out and buy it if you are able to. Following up today's video with an even more weirder addition, I suppose you could say, this is going to be Aaron. And the funny thing is, I actually made a different tweet like a few weeks ago now, as of the time of me recording today's video, talking about how I think Aaron may be like genuinely one of my favourite Ninjago minifigures ever, and weeks later, again, I do stand by that. He is, of course, one of the new main characters for Ninjago, and yeah, this guy just looks awesome. I am a huge fan of that hairpiece. It is extremely unique, definitely not a hairpiece you see every day in Lego. The face print looks awesome, very true to Aaron's actual design, and overall, I just love how casual it is. Not too sure why they included this waffle in this set. I suppose it's meant to represent one of his pies, but yeah, whatever, I suppose. The actual torso there does look great, so do the legs. Again, it has this very huge casual design about it. Like, if I had to go ahead and sum up this minifigure in literally just one word, it would be casual, because that's exactly what this minifigure is. Casual. And I love that a lot about it. Again, everything just blends together so well. It sums up Aaron's character perfectly. It is a minifigure I absolutely love. And again, I just had to include it on this list. Very good minifigure right there. So coming up next on the list is going to be another minifigure coming from the Ninjago City Garden set. By the way, such a fantastic set, that being Misdemeanor. This is a very unique, obscure kind of minifigure. Definitely not one I thought we'd actually get in set form, considering, you know, she's not really that big of a character. But believe me when I say I'm so happy that this minifigure does actually exist. The printing there, as you can see, looks great with the red flames coming up out of her, like, almost army-like jacket she's got on. That thing looks really hardcore, which does make sense for a character like Misdemeanor. The same character that wields flamethrowers with a huge gas tank on her back. You know, army-like just seems appropriate for her, to be honest. You've got the crazy red mohawk going on, the red goggles, her angry expression there, and of course the actual flamethrowers and the gas tank on the back. It all just comes together to look really exceptional. It's so wacky. It is literally stupid, but those are two words that sum up Misdemeanor perfectly, and that is exactly why this minifigure is such a huge hit with me, in my personal opinion. It's crazy how such an obscure character can make it this high up on my list of favourite Ninjago minifigures of all time that I personally own, but she's gone ahead and done it, and for good reason as well. She deserves this spot on the list, because again, she is a fantastic looking minifigure. Absolute 10 out of 10 stuff right there. Coming up next on the list is Samukai, and yeah, I realise he is actually kind of dusty. I really should have cleaned him before making today's video, but how could this guy not be on the list if I own him? He is a great minifigure, and although these skeleton arms are extremely snappable, in fact, when I first got this guy in like 2020, I believe it was, his arms snapped on me like twice, I believe it was, so ever since then I've been extremely careful. I've obviously replaced them, as you can see here, and they have been good to me ever since. Just be very careful if you're going to be playing with this minifigure as well. Honestly, just don't play with it. Just try and keep that to a minimal, because this minifigure can break very, very easily. But as you can see, his jaw here extends, which is another crazy feature. This is a separate piece to the rest of his body. It is just so wacky. You've got his insane kind of like spinal cords running back there, and then you've got his comically tiny legs with those big boots like all of the skeletons have. He is a fantastic minifigure. Again, easily one of my favourites. Really need to dust him, but aside from that, he just looks great. The actual face print there just looks incredible. The mouth, all of it comes together so well. The red skull there, the red, I don't even know what to call that, like sash kind of thing going over there. It just looks incredible. I am a huge fan of this minifigure. Again, how could I possibly not include him on this list? He looks absolutely fantastic. So before moving on to like my actual all-time favourite Ninjago minifigures, I would just like to give a little bit of an honourable shout out and mention to Skybound J. Completely forgot the official name for these suits, so feel free to fill me in on the comments if you guys are aware. But yeah, this guy is absolutely incredible, and is another one that I obtained quite recently from the Lighthouse Siege. This minifigure is awesome. Love that second face print, by the way. But yeah, it just sums up Jay's character so nicely. And I suppose, to be honest, the reason this minifigure is on this list in the first place as well, you know, kind of like a boosted edition, is just because of his role in Skybound. It's just remained such an iconic appearance for me just because of how great Jay was in that season. I'm sure most of us here can definitely agree on that. And this minifigure is just absolutely fantastic to go ahead and look at. You've got the gold Spinjitzu thing there with the, like, kind of strange squid design going over there, and you've got obviously the black design with the blue. It complements the suit very nicely, and you've got this different sword holder, which is still Ninjago's best in my personal opinion anyway, that covers just one of the shoulders. This minifigure is absolutely incredible. I am in love with it, and despite not being officially on the list, I suppose you could consider it to be on the list if we're talking top 11, but for the sake of today's video, it is here on the honourable mentioner spot, because again, this minifigure just had to be mentioned. I am such a huge fan of it. Great stuff right there. But now let's move on to my top 2 favourites of all time. Matakan, how can you not love him, right? The weird creep that goes after a teenager. But regardless, yes, this minifigure is incredible, and so is his character, to be quite honest with all of you. If there was one downside I would have to point out with Matakan, it's that his ponytail piece just kind of flops out so easily, but there is actually a customization thing that you can do for this minifigure, and that is the fact that, well, you can get a red maroon kind of stud that is the same colour as his cloth piece that goes over his mouth, and you can pop it up there and put the ponytail on top of that. I actually have 2 Matakan minifigures, and my other one, well, I use that specific design. It just makes it a lot easier. But yeah, aside from that, this minifigure is great. Obviously, he has 4 arms, which instantly boosts up the cool factor. He has 4 arms again, and one with a actual hook on the bottom left there. His left, our right. The ghost tail piece looks incredible and is very accurate. You've got the abs showing there through the top armor piece with the other 2 arms on it. Yeah, this minifigure is incredible. And again, his design, his voice, his actual character, everything is so perfect. Oh, and it's also worth mentioning that underneath this mask piece, the face print is so damn accurate to actual Matakan that it kind of freaks me out how accurate it is to the actual show. This is an incredible minifigure. I am such a huge fan of it. Again, this guy just had to be on the list. He is a great minifigure. So glad I own multiple of this guy. Again, great stuff here. But now, let's go ahead and move on to that number 1 spot, leaning just over there. Quite possibly the most average choice ever for a favourite Ninjago minifigure, but this is going to be rebooted Overlord. Yeah, this guy is absolutely incredible. He just screams Overlord, right? If there was any different character in Ninjago that was going to be called Overlord, it would be this guy. This guy is the definition of the word. It just looks so damn cool. The golden armor, the actual mask, the actual torso print, which I will show you guys there, it just is so damn detailed, and it looks absolutely incredible. You've got the Overlord symbol shown twice throughout, just in case you would, for some reason, forget. You've got kind of like the sloped piece, which is meant to represent some form of skirt, I suppose, and you've also got more of the golden spine on the back there. This thing just screams menacing. Again, the golden armor looks great. The helmet I will take off now so you can get a better look at that face print, which is just so goddamn evil looking with that really sickening smile. The eyes look great, and the mask on its own, let me just get it, does also look absolutely fantastic. I am such a huge fan of this particular minifigure. This is actually kind of hard to do with the camera as well, but I will try and pop that helmet back on, and there we go. Yeah, this minifigure, incredible. He just simply had to be at the #1 spot in today's video. This guy is great. I am such a huge fan of this minifigure. Literal 11 out of 10 stuff right there. But with all of this being said, that is basically going to wrap up today's video here. Hopefully you guys did all enjoy this one. Please though, if you guys would like more videos like this, please do consider leaving a like rating on it so that I'm aware that you guys would like more like this. And feel free to also let me know down below in the comment section that you would like more of this. And also feel free to leave any of your own personal thoughts on my ranking down below in the comments. And while you're there, maybe go ahead and rank some of your all-time favourite Ninjago minifigures too. Please though, now that I'm done talking, again, I turn it over to all of you. Leave a comment down below, leave a like on it for more, subscribe to the channel for more daily content, and hit that notification bell so that you can never miss out on a future upload from me. And with all of this being said, I will catch you all very soon for a new video. Well, goodbye everybody. Catch you all very soon.